Pictures of the Prime Minister with his mother Heeraben. She emerged in the national conscience when she was standing in a queue after demonetization, and the Prime Minister sent out a very powerful message that even his mother was having to queue up. That was the kind of impact demonetization was having. He's done this in the past as well, going and seeking his mother's blessings just before going out to cast his vote. Rahul Srivastava, it's a bit like a student taking his mother's blessings before going out for a big exam.
I think, Rahul, there is a lot of politics which has existed on the ground for the last few years. Every time the Prime Minister goes to the mother, or the pictures of him emerge, there is criticism from the Congress and the opponents that these are Kodak moments specially crafted for electoral purposes. But I think there is something nice about it also. I think it, as you said, it's like a student going to the mother. I think there is something nice about it, and it does present another side of a leader about whom actually there is a lot of enigma also, that Narendra Modi's personal life, one really doesn't know that after being Prime Minister, because if you recall last time around when he had gone to vote, I think it was April 29th, 2014, when he went inside a polling booth wearing a traditional, he was Gujarat Chief Minister then. This time he has gone in as a Prime Minister. He was wearing that typical Narendra Modi half-sleeve kurta with a beige jacket, and you recall there was that very famous selfie moment. At that time,
there may be another one. What makes you think that's in the past? There may be another one coming.
No, I think one of the interesting things about it is that this is a constant reminder to voters, to anyone who's watching, that I am not a namdar of the sort that my opponents are. This is where I am from. You know, it is a home that is...
It's a very powerful part of his appeal.
It's a very, very important part of his appeal, and it's a constant reminder. So I think that is, it's very important for the image that the Prime Minister has crafted for himself. It's an important part of what he should be doing.
You know, and by not living with his family members, he also sends out the message that mere aage piche koi nahi, which is why there's no corruption in the Modi Sarkar, he says, because there's no one for whom favors are to be sought. That is another part of the message. Some detractors make up by saying that, you know, why is he abandoned his family? But that again is the way he is. Take it or leave it. I am a Swayam Sevak. I gave up all worldly connections in a desire to save the country at a level. Rahul Srivastava, that's very powerful messaging, because in India there's always been a lot of appeal for the ascetic. The man who gives it all up, works for society, works for the country, and Narendra Modi in that sense positions himself as one.
Yes, Rahul, if you go across in Gujarat, I think there are people who will talk about that how his family has decided that they will not take that active political plunge. They have not amassed any great visible wealth. There is something to it. There is a lot of criticism that all this is for the cameras, TV cameras, and building a kind of a very crafted kind of image. But Rahul, as Mihir said, very important element that, as you said, that somebody who is a loner, who's decided to live alone, there is no corruption, he does not need to create wealth for himself or his family members. I think that's where another comparison when we were talking about Amit Shah comes in. Narendra Modi as a RSS Pracharak had an experience of all of India. He went around and he knows almost at block level what the BJP workers at one time used to be. He has got diverse experiences across India, whereas Amit Shah came from Gujarat. Largely his
I've just received word from the Prime Minister's office that image that you see of the chunari is of the Mataji of Pavagadh. So that's the image that you're seeing, Prime Minister Modi going and meeting his mother. And I remember her saying that the biggest day of her life was not when Prime Minister Modi became India's Prime Minister, but when he became Chief Minister. That, she says, is the biggest day of her life. And it's very powerful. It also is testament to the power of India's democracy, that a man born in Vadnagar, no matter what you think of the tea stall story, rose to become India's Prime Minister just through the dint of his hard work. You can love his politics, you can hate his politics, but the fact is, through sheer grit, determination and hard work, he has occupied the post which requires the maximum number of voters anywhere in the world to vote for you, Mihir.
Absolutely. And you know, I think that it's also a reminder that, you know, He's not a native Hindi speaker. You know, he's learned to speak the language. We've all seen how much he's improved. His English speaking has improved just in the course of these 5 years that he's been Prime Minister. He was a little hesitant when he spoke in English when he first became Prime Minister, and now he's quite confident about it. You know, I think that one of the things that has really appealed to voters about Modi is a sense of his work ethic. One of the stories that constantly circulate are, you know, he works for these many hours in a day.
No,
And
but
it's
these
true
are,
that-
you are dismissive when you say stories that circulate.
No.
This is reality.
No, but it's true that other prime ministers in the past also have. All right, you know, I don't think that Modi per se is working more hours a day than Manmohan Singh did. But it is also true that there is something about how he presents the way that this as part of a unified ethic that is considered appealing by voters. And I think that's important to keep
And
in
Rahul,
mind.
was he carrying that same Pavagad chunri to the polling booth? There was something red in his hand. It seems that he carried it, I think the mother font.
Oh, that is probably what he took with him.
I think that's
Yes.
what he really
There was
carried
also
to
a
the...
Gita. I'm told there was also a Gita with him at that time.